but if you're not but however you need a hard work in Python, right? Because first, whenever you run the program, right? So if program doesn't work, so I'm just sharing my experience, right? So you need to you need to do hard work, right? Because sometime that code doesn't work, right? So you'll have to test it again, what could be possible, or what could be the possibilities, right? So that is why the software guys, every time they keep doing coding, they are always busy expanding, but their code is very tough. But if I talk about our network Python, it's easy. So you should know the basic of that. It is not like you should know a lot of things in the Python, but yes, you should know the things about some important libraries. You should know. You should be aware about it. So okay, let me just share my screen. Give me a second. So uh, it is just an introduction, right? So guys, do you have any thought in your mind, like related to Python? Like just Ia said that it's just the automation of the network, so we can automate our network, correct? So Bilala, Shiv Kumar, Shashank joined, right? Hello.
Yes.
So Shashank, what do you think about it, about Python?
I think we can use it for various purpose like automating our network, doing some testing and all in our network, getting reports.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can also fetch the reports. So we can, so we can just log in like all the network devices, whatever the report we want to fetch, we can get it. Like you need a that you need a uptime of thousand of device. Suppose recently I prepare a program that we had. I joined a new project, so I got a chance like. There are 10,000 network devices, okay, and in 10,000 network devices I had to identify which devices are working with TACAS, which devices require the basic local credential, uh, and like which devices are not reachable, right? So and that in that report you could also get a like uptime of that device. So that information I had to collect. So I just made one program and just click that, and I got my report, you know, on all the 10,000 devices. So can you believe? I mean, we have 480 sites, right? And if we ask to you guys, so you will just go and just log in, check one by one. So it is a very laborious work, right? It is very hard to do, right? So instead of that, you can go your automation program and you can just run that. So this is just depends, like uh, if I talk about program, so you have to just think what is your requirement, what is the exact your requirement, right? So once you understand your requirement, then you have to think like where I can program, right? So I just made a simple program, just will show you. Let me just share my screen using this first time, this full screen. Give me a second. And please ask me the question, uh, whatever comes in your mind. Okay. How to share that? Give me a second. Okay, got it. Okay, let me know once you can see my screen. Hello.
Yes, we can see now.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So you can see my screen, right? So I will tell you. So like recently, uh, we had I think 8 or 9,000 network devices, right? So I got a chance to want to. Uh, so give me a second. So it is simple. You can also when I will just start teaching. So like these are our routers. Router one, router two, router three are connected, right? So I have connected this routers through internet, right? So this the DCP server is allocating the IP address to all the R1, R2, and R3 routers. Give me a second, bro. Hello, hello, guys.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Sasank, Bilal, Shiv Kumar, and Shane Khan. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just show you. Where is that? Okay. So for Python, okay. Let me just explain you one, the diagram. Okay, just to make you understand. So we have multiple network devices, right, on the side, right? So the multiple side we have uh, all the network 10 devices here, 10 devices here, right? So correct. So we have one jump server. You can say this is jump server, right? So we have installed the Python, right, on the jump server, right? So for the important thing is that you should have the connectivity uh, with your jump server to all the network devices, right? Either MPL install the Python, Python code and the Python software, right? Python software, uh, here and uh, uh, we run the .exe file on this jump server, right? So for that, to make a change on the network devices or uh, I mean to push the script or to get the data, right? So right, if you need like the uptime of the device, right, or you need the version, your model, right, whatever you need that, right? So you have to just push the program, right? You have to run the program, and this will just log in on all the network devices, right? And it will just save that information in a text file. So you can it depends upon you whether you want to save in the text file or Excel, or you want that output in front of your screen. You want to print it, right? So you can you can whatever you want. It depends upon you. So it will just give you complete information. So I'm going to just show you that program only. So how we are running that, and okay, via Python, right? So let's go. So this is our that lab. So in the lab, as I said earlier, that I have connected. I mean, all these routers are getting. I think only two routers are getting this, uh, getting the IP address from the DSCP. So if you see here, R2, so show IP interface brief. So if I see, like, this interface is getting the IP from the DSCP only, right? So I just configured, like I went into the interface and I just enabled IP address DSCP, right? So the R2 and I believe R3. So yeah, so here if you go, here you will also see that this is configure with the TCP, right? So both are getting the IP address, right? So let me just show you. So what you can do, you can also just like if you see there's a program running on my desktop that is called the config script. Okay, config script. So I have to just go into the config script and let me just go there. Console. I have multiple script Python scripts. I have to take the backup, so I can take the backup. I can just route configuration, a lot of config script. So this is the our script. So to push the configuration, I need one text file. So what I have done, I have just configure this, uh, like so I have to just configure this thing, right? That suppose you got a work like the community string has got changed, so you have to just enable that just configure the community string on all the routers, right? So suppose my name is Ravi, right? So I will just configure both Ravi, right? So currently you can see that like if I see on the router, so this is a read only and this is a write. So this is currently running, right? So I want like all the devices this script should run, and this should change the community string of the SNMP and save the configuration, right? So exit, and then it will save the configuration, correct? So it should do on R2 as well as R3, right? So here you can see here also it is configured read only and read write, right? So we'll see that how it is happening. So right, so we have to just know that, and we have to just save this, right? So I have just configure it, correct? And one more thing is required, like we need a host file where we have put the IP address. So definitely we require the IP address of the destination network devices. So where we have to put all the IP address information that this script will be running on this particular network devices. Okay. So what I have to do, I have to just run this script and it will just make the changes. Okay. So so in Python, right? So let me, so uh, like this program is in the LAN WAN. So important thing is that you must have this information that script is in which folder, and I mean you should know the path of the script. Okay, so we can just run the diagram, run this script from here as well. So if I will click here, right? So this will configure my both routers. So it is just giving me the information also that it is running this script SNMP community public Ravi and SNMP community Ravi exit and the WR. I mean save the configuration. Okay, so right. So once this is configured, I believe this will give the information that see, right? So it has configured, right? It went into the configuration mode. It is showing that I have configured this output is from 136, right? And it has configured the the community string Ravi, private and public. Now it is going to show me that I'm going to again run the same configuration on different device. You can see, right? Is it visible?
Yes,
Uh,
but you can increase the size.
so let me just go on that route R2. See, when it runs the it automatically show that it is configured by Cisco, right? So right. So now let's see that what is the community string now. See, Ravi and Ravi, right? So same way we'll see on the router 3 as well. So let's see it is configured or not. See, right? So we can make the changes on the multiple devices, right? So it is a simple configuration, like so. Uh, Sometimes we get a this type of the work, right? Like you have to just push this configuration on all the uh, devices, all the network devices. Okay, so we will learn that how to write a code in Python to understand this code, right? So so today I'm just going to tell you the basic of that in the Python. If you see, so 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 Python was I mean created by Dio Web Rosum, and it's a popular nowadays. It's a very popular programming language. Earlier it was Java. Nowadays Python is coming on number one because Python is not just only for network automation. In future, Python, in the Python we can also go for the artificial intelligence as well, right? So Python can run on multiple operating system. It can run on Mac OS, Windows, right, Linux. So you can run on the different platform, right? But here we will learn on that Windows operating system because we are from network, right? So usually we use Windows operating system to run that program, right? So I will tell you that which Python you should run. So currently on my desktop, it's running 3.8. So you can see here, right, Python version. So if you have to check that whether the Python is installed or not, so you have to just simple run the command. Give me a second. Okay, so you have to just simple run the command Python on the command prompt, right? So you have to just run the command Python. It will show you the Python version, which Python version you are running, right? So Python 3.8.0 is running on my, and we have gone into the Python prompt. Okay, so this is the way we can see on my desktop that whether I'm running Python. I mean, whether Python is installed on my desktop or laptop, whatever that. Okay, so we will learn about it, right? If you have to run any script, right? So uh, if you have to just exit, Control J, enter, okay. And if you want to run any script, like any script is running on your desktop, and I mean the save on the desktop, and if you want directly run that program directly from your command prompt, so you have to just run this Python. Like I have a one program db.py, right? So this extension, it's always .py, right? So whenever you have to run any program in Python, what you have to do, you have to just type Python, and this is saved on my desktop. So you have to just sorry. So you have to firstly go to the uh, in that path where this program is running, right? I mean save, right? So this is on my desktop, right? So I have to go in the desktop, then I have to run this program. So the command is Python db.py extension. Okay. So you have to just enter it, and this code will start working. So I just prepare one programming like uh, code that I was just adding that, like if you want to search any device, so you have to just enter your choice. So I have I have just enter one choice number one. So it will just ask me enter the site code. So I will just type AMS, right? If that does not exist, so it will again ask the question, right? So I mean, this is simple code, but I'm telling you that you have to, if you have to run any Python program, you have to go in that particular path where you have saved the Python code. So this db.py code exists on my desktop. Okay, and if I have to run that Python code, I have to go on my desktop path. Okay, and from there I have to run this command python db.py. So whenever I run, so I mean just press enter, then that code will start working. Okay, so you can just control C. You have to do just control C. You will just exit from that Python code. Okay, now uh, in Python, it's a very important thing is that uh, indentation. So that is very important. So indentation refers to the space at the beginning of the code line, right? So whenever you are just running, I will come this point on later because let's start with the Python first, right? No, so we'll learn the first code today in the Python. Okay. So this will come under when I will tell you that if and else statement, right? So let's see. So anybody will tell me if I have to go in the Python prompt, what I have to do. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Python db.py.
No, that is just to run the script. I want to go into the Python prompt. Okay. So I have to just write Python. Okay. Sorry. Uh, I typed wrong spelling Python. Okay. So I had reached to the Python prompt, right? You can see, right? And here we can also see that 3.8.0 uh, version is running on my laptop. Correct? Okay. So let's learn the first uh, program. I mean, I have to uh, just type like welcome to Python class. Okay. So I just run that. Correct. So it just print is just only the print that statement, right? So make sure this will print only when you are uh, closing with a bracket with this double quote, right? So otherwise it will not print. The reason why is I will tell you, like if you just type welcome to Python class, it will not print because Python, if nothing is, if any string or anything is, is not closed with the this double code, right? So uh, this will not understand. Python will not understand because it consider it as a variable, right? So it will not print that. So whatever, whenever you want to just print any information, make sure it should be, uh, I mean, close with this bracket and this, right? Okay, you can also, I believe, three times. This is also the second type, right? Welcome to the Python. This is the second way you have to do, right? I believe so. Python class. See, so we can also do like this as well. Okay. Uh, if you just type, like, if you want to, suppose you are writing any code in Python, okay. So and you want to write about that code, that this code is related to what, right? So if I want to write welcome to direct, if I want to direct write welcome to Python class, right? Okay, and if I enter, it will give error, right? Syntax error. So whenever you want to write some information about that code before writing a code, you have to just press hash, okay, and then you have to type welcome to Python class, welcome to Python class. Hit enter, it will not give any error or something, right? So that is just only to show in the program that yes, this is related to welcome to Python class. Okay, so these are the basic things. I mean, before learning the Python, we should know, like, if I have to print any information, how will I print that? Okay, and I will tell you that how to, just let me just suppose I have to just write the code here, right? You can also write here as well. So print hello, and if you want to save it, the program save as. So whenever you say you will make any program, right? So you have to save with the extension of the Python, right? So hello.py. So I just save on my desktop, right? And if I want to run this program, I have to just press F function F5. So it will print hello. Or you can also do this thing. You will just go on the desktop, right? And you will see that I have saved that code on the desktop. Where it has gone? Here, hello, right? So it is saved as a hello.py. If I will press it, I mean, that has, the screen is gone because I didn't stop it. So I will have to just run directly from here so that I can understand what happened exactly, right? So if I print, so it is printing hello. Okay. Anybody worked on F5 load balancer? Any work? No. Okay. Otherwise, I would have told you that how to make the coding of the F5 load balancer. So every every company, whenever they just make their product, so they create the API as well, application programming interface as well. So we like, if I anybody heard about the Cisco ACI? Cisco ACI?
No.
No. Okay. So Cisco ACI is also, that they have their own APIs, right? So we should know Python uh, and the Python language, and then I have to use the libraries, and I should know about the APIs, and on the basis of that, we can automate anything.
So, in this F5, I heard about I rules. So, this I rule is also prepared using Python. I mean,
No, iRule is already iRule is already basically a programming language, right? So that is a TCL programming, right? So that is
okay.
already coded in the in the TCL that is a TCL program which runs on the F5 load balancer. Okay, so we are already coding. iRule is a coding, right? It's a simple coding where you can do a lot of things, right? That is also a piece of code. I mean, it's a very small code in the iRule, which we run that. But no, that is not done. But if you have to create the pool or create the web, delete the pool, delete the whip, or you have to take the backup of the F5 load balancer, like the usage 5. Like if you want to do like the monthly backup or like weekly backup of the device, right? So what it will do, the Python will just automatic. You are not supposed to do anything. You have to just type, just make a code and just save on your desktop, and you just set a time, right? Every week it will take the backup of the devices, whether it is a F5 load balancer, whether it is a router, switches, any type of the device. It will just run its own script, and it will just find the which are the devices in the host file. It will just pick the IP address one by one, and it will save that backup on your desktop. Okay, so you can just go with the scheduler as well, right? You define the scheduler, right? So in the Python we can also schedule a timer, right? So that in that particular time, if we have to uh, if particular time, if we have to run the code, the code should run automatic. So it doesn't require even your, like I'm here just clicking, right? If I click here, then this program is working, right? But in that task scheduler, it even doesn't require human intervention, right? It will work automatic. Okay. So I have multiple script in the F5 as well, like addition, deletion, upload, backup, right? If I have to upload the image of the F5, just I will click it, my image will get uploaded in the F5 load balancer, right? If I want to delete it, I want to add it, right? So you can, if you want to the certificate detail, a lot of things, right? You can do in the Python. So for that, F5 had its own API, right? So F5 has given their API. So we use that. Router has also its own some libraries. I mean, Cisco also has some specific library. So there are thousands of the libraries in the market, right? It's depend upon you which library you want to use, right? So in my class, I use basically the NetMiko, and I will tell you how this is happening via NetMiko. Uh, Anything if you want to ask, then uh, I mean, but I will tell you that before that, I will tell you that when I will start teaching, right? So I will tell you each and everything, like what are the data types, like what is the integer value, what is the float, what is the tuple, what is the dictionary, right? uh, how will you just understand that whether it's a floating, a tuple, or dictionary, variables, types of variables, how to just print that, how just store the value, right? So we will just learn one by one, right? So there are a lot of things in the Python. I mean, once you just understand the if else statement, how will we use the if else, how will we use the while loop, how will we use the for loop, right? When you understand these all the things, then we will go and write simple small codes. So when we start learning and making our own code, then we can apply that codes in our network automation, right? So this is, I will tell you. I mean, if you are you know, interested. So if you have any questions, so this is all about the Python. If you have any question, please ask me. So we have seen like what is your expectation to in this class? I mean,
So how will be the lab? Are you going to demonstrate these Cisco platforms? I mean, how will the
oh,
labs?
so this will be we can go with the Cisco AC firewall as well. So I have multiple like the Cisco classes. I mean the routers, switches. We can go with the switches, routers. We can go with the Cisco ASA firewall. So I have that firewall as well. So Cisco, we can go the Cisco ASA. We can configure like uh, see. You should know the code, right? The code is same, common, right? Whether it's a Cisco ASA firewall or router switches Cisco or other vendor companies, right? It doesn't matter. You should know the configure script, how to configure, right? Like if I talk about the Juniper, right, it has its own syntax to configure. If if I talk about Aruba, HP devices, network devices, it has its own syntax, right? The Cisco has it, but the code is same. Code is common, no change, nothing, right? But I am going to tell you the how this is working the Cisco, okay? But the code
Okay.
would be common for all the vendors. It doesn't matter what vendor is that. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, Anybody else? Like any questions? Hello? Sasank, Shiva.
From my side.
Sorry?
No questions from my side, man.
Okay. Sania Khan, Shiv Kumar.
Yeah, myself, Shiv Kumar. What are the topics we covered in this training, and how many? What are the duration?
So, okay. So, we will cover, as I said earlier, that firstly, we will understand the Python topics. So, in the Python topics, if I talk about, like as I said earlier, uh, like variables, integers, floatings, loops, data types, right? Dictionary, like tuple, list. So there are a lot of things in the Python, right? So firstly, we will understand the syntax in the Python. What syntax will be used for what purpose, right? Until unless you know about the syntax, you cannot write the code, right? So the important thing is that you should learn about the syntax. Once you learn the syntax, then we will go with a small simple code, right? Suppose you have to write a table, right? You have to write the table of 2, 3, 4, right? Whatever is the table, right? So I will give you the small piece of the codes, and you have to do the labs, right? Once we learn that syntax, you will start, just making the simple small codes. Then we will go with the network automation labs. But our focus is totally on the network automation. Okay. Why I'm going to tell the syntax, because that is very important. Until unless, see, so how will you make you understand? So until unless we don't know the language, right? Suppose you don't know you don't know English language, right? And I want to make you understand in English, you will not understand, right? So you should know like the grammar, right? Like what is either I mean you should know like how to speak English, right? So until unless you'll not be able to read that, you'll not be able to understand, you'll not be able to speak that. So how will you use that, right? So firstly we will understand the syntax in the Python. What are the syntaxes, how to use that in the real world. Then we will understand the the how this can be used in network automation. Okay, is this clear, Shiva?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Eliash, Eliash, are you there?
No from my side.
Okay. So that was a demo class. Next time we will learn. In the next class, uh, we will just learn the syntax and simple codes, how to make, and the important thing is that how to install the Python. So we will learn how to install the Python on your everybody desktop and how to run that. Okay. So we'll learn that, and after that we'll go with the syntax and simple codes, right? So this is the way we will start.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Then thanks everyone.